We are poor. Rubbish. Don't come here and be acting like you own anything. You don't own us. Don't be shouting, like warning people that about your interest in Africa. Fuck you. Fuck your interest. Fuck you and your interests. I mean, it's really crazy how Africa is blessed with all these natural resources and fertile land, but we are the poorest in the world, or we have the poorest countries in the world. How is that? How does that make sense?
Oh my God, here we go again.
All right. Hello everyone, welcome to the show. Today we are going to be looking at some ungrateful monsters. Let me just reduce this volume a little bit because it sounds too loud. All right, so today we are going to be looking at some ungrateful monsters. All right, but before anything, I have a medical question to ask y'all. All right, why are balls so sensitive? Why are the kahunas so sensitive? Why are the man balls so sensitive? I really want to know, because I mistakenly leaned on one of my balls yesterday and the pain was crazy. I can't even lie. The pain was excruciating. I felt like some very crazy pain. I felt like this excruciating pain for like 30 seconds. I promise you, that was the most painful 30 seconds I've ever had. So I don't know. I felt like I was dying. So why are the balls so sensitive? Why are the balls so sensitive? That's one of the things. Please, if you know, please leave a comment and let me know. Why are the balls so sensitive? I don't know. All right. So yeah, now that we got it out of the way, this is what we're going to be talking about today. I mean, I just felt like that was weird. I just wanted to point that out a little real quick. It was a little bit weird to me, you know. Not like I haven't felt pain like that before. I mean, balls. Yeah, if you own balls, you know you're gonna feel pain once in a while. It's gonna be painful sometimes, like everyone's one time and again. Sometimes you just sit there and the pain comes like, and it goes back. It's just something that it's just some of the pain that we get all the time, like most times. I mean, that was weird. Anyhow, today I want to talk a little bit on some politics. Just FYI, I don't really like talking about politics like that, all right? I swear I don't like talking about politics. I don't like talking about politics. Unless if I am insulting, like, if I'm insulting or talking down on the people that are up there. If I'm doing that, then it's a fair game. But usually I don't like talking about politics. You know what I mean? The reason I don't like talking about politics is I really don't like to make people understand, like, know how smart I am. I don't like to make people like to reveal my smartness. I'm very, very smart. I am very, very smart. I don't like to show people that I'm smart, because it's just like a dick move to be just shove your smartness all in people's faces. I don't really like to be doing that. That is not me. I don't like to be doing that all the time, you know what I mean? So I get sensed too much. That's what I'm trying to say. I get sensed too much, but I don't need to like to show people, you know. But anyways, I don't know if you know what is happening in Africa right now. I don't know if you know what is happening in Africa right now. Politics and life in general is as far as politics and life in general is concerned. Like in a nutshell, right? Africa is kicking butt and it's taking names. Africa is kicking butt and is taking names. I don't know how long that's gonna last. I really don't know how long that's gonna last. I feel like it's gonna happen for some time and then all of a sudden it's just gonna die down. But let's hope this stays let's hope this stays for a very long time, because this is what we actually need right now. What is happening in Africa? I'm gonna explain later. All right, so bear with me. So what do I mean by Africa is kicking names? It's kicking butt and taking names. Come, all right, let's go. I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna let you know on a little secret. I'm gonna let you know right now. So this continent, you see this continent that I'm in right now, this African continent, See this African continent? It is too blessed. This continent is too mother effing blessed. This continent is way too blessed. All right, which is a good thing on the one hand. All right, it's good, it's blessed, it's all that fine, it has all that blessed stuff. But on the one hand, it's good. On the one hand, it's good. But there is a problem or a curse with that too. Like on the other hand, there's a problem and a curse with the blessings. So on the one hand, it's good. It's a good thing. It's a blessing. On the other hand, it's a curse. Right? On the other hand, it's a curse. The blessing comes with misfortune. The blessings comes with misfortune, hate, pain, poverty, greed, idiots, uneducated or greedy politicians. The list goes on and on. And literally, you can add whatever bad thing that you can think about. You can add it to this list, and it's gonna fit right in. It's gonna fit perfectly right in. That's how I see it, and that is Africa. That's the continent. That's what the continent comes with. It's blessed, but it's also cursed. It's blessed, but because of the blessings, it's cursed. It's not cursed because of something else. It's cursed because it is blessed, which is weird, right? You can literally add anything. Like I said, you can literally add anything, any bad thing that you can add it to the list, and it's gonna fit perfectly too. All right. The problems or curse get to the unfortunate state when the people who have or own these blessings are the ones that suffer the most. You see what I mean by it's like a blessing. It's only cursed because it's blessed. Yeah. So the blessing becomes a misfortune or a curse. In other words, the blessing becomes a curse, or it's the blessings or the problems or the curse becomes an unfortunate state. It becomes into this unfortunate state when the people who have or own these blessings are the ones that suffer the most. And these people are even traumatized to the extent English words. And these people in these blessings are even traumatized to the extent where they see more opportunities in the lands or places that have nothing compared to what they have. What do I mean by that? So it becomes this whole blessing becomes a curse. And it becomes a curse, right? But then it's even more unfortunate. It becomes more unfortunate when the people that live in countries or on this African continent that have more of these blessings. It becomes unfortunate when the people that are living in those blessings see more opportunity in other lands, like in lands outside of the continent, outside of Africa, that have less, that have close to nothing. We have more, but we are cursed, and we are even forced to see the places that have nothing to have more. Make that make sense. How is that possible? That I am in my house and I don't like the things that I have in my house. I don't have the benefit. It does not benefit me. It does not benefit me. The things that I have in my house do not benefit me. But I see the things that are outside. I see more benefit to the things that are outside. So that's crazy. I don't know if you guys understand me. Like, I am staying in my house. Like, I have my house. I bought my things. I have everything. But I don't see the things that I have in my house. The benefits do not benefit me, if you get what I mean. The benefits do not benefit me. So in order for me to get more benefit, I have to leave my house, which is everything to me, leave my house to go somewhere else to get them benefits. And those people don't even like you, don't even want you to come to their house. But you have all of the things that make those people who they are. You have all of the things that don't make those people who they are in your house. But your house is so unfortunate that you have to leave your house to go look for the things that you have in your house. That's right. If you get what I mean. So yeah, so many of us Africans are leaving the continent. So many of us Africans are leaving the continent in our numbers. Like so many of us Africans are living the continent, like the African continent, in our numbers, because it is almost like a punishment or bad luck to have the opportunity to not have the opportunity to leave. So many of us are leaving the continent in our numbers. Like so many people are trying to leave. Like if the embassies, like the American embassy, the Canadian embassy, or the British embassy say, okay, visas are free. Everybody can come and get visas for free and go to these countries. Or if the EU says all of the countries in the EU, you can come and just get your visas and just travel and go there for free. Brother, Africa is going to be dry. I'm not going to lie to you. Africa is going to be the driest country. Let's just say country. Africa is just going to be the driest continent ever because everyone is going to leave. No one wants to leave here because the troubles here are too much. We have way too many problems, despite the fact that we have all the raw materials that those people need. So we have everything that they need, the things that they need is what is making their countries rich. But we are not rich. We are broke. We are poor. So we are deciding to leave the continent in our numbers. And that's crazy to me if you ask me. So many of us so many of us will risk everything just to try to make it, just to try to make it out of this continent in search of greener pastures. Meanwhile, our continent is like the greenest of all of them. So so many of us would do, like what I'm trying to say is so many people in Africa would try, just like the example that I gave earlier. So many of us would do everything to leave Africa, to try to leave Africa in search of greener pastures, in search of greener pastures, good things, better life and all that stuff. Meanwhile, Africa is the greenest of all of them. The greener pastures in Africa is way, way more than those people that side. If only they left us alone. If they left us alone, we'll be fine. We don't need to be going outside looking for greener pastures. Africa is the greenest. Africa has the greenest of the pastures. Every day. Those countries come to Africa to get the things that are going to make that side more greener. So what does that say about Africa? We're giving everything away. I realized that I've been talking about blessings all this time, and I didn't even define what I mean by blessing. I'm saying like we are blessed indeed. By blessings, I am talking about the continent's natural resources. That's what I'm talking about. By blessings, I'm talking about the country's natural resources. Africa is so blessed with natural resources or raw materials and even fertile land to grow crops that we as a continent can literally be self-sufficient forever. We have so many natural resources or raw materials that we can, and even fertile land that we can grow crops. Fertile land to grow crops that we can be self-sufficient forever. And that the self-sufficiency, I don't know if that's a word, but if we are self-sufficient, it can cover everybody for the rest of our lives, like all the generations. It can cover us forever. All right? Like forever. With every African person never experiencing poverty. With no African person experiencing poverty, talk less of thinking about leaving their country or the African continent. Let me say that again. Africa is so blessed with natural resources or raw materials and even fertile land to grow crops that we as a continent can literally be self-sufficient forever. With every African person never experiencing poverty, talk less of thinking about leaving their country or the African continent. So straightforward. We have all these things that we don't even need to travel and go abroad, to go to Canada, to go to America, to go wherever. We don't need to. Like we have that amount of, like we have the self-sufficient. We can be self-sufficient. What do we have? What do we not have? We have fertile land to grow our own crops. We have what it takes to make our own fertilizers to grow crops. I don't know about, there's this thing that I heard. I don't know if it's true, but it's saying that according to the World Trade something, a country is limited to the amount of things that they can produce. Like you are not allowed to produce certain crops or certain like products and stuff like that. Like for fertilizers, African countries, I guess some countries are not now. You are only allowed to buy it from other people. So they set like countries that can grow those things and countries that can fix those things, and you are only allowed to buy them. You're not allowed to produce them yourself. Which is why during the coronavirus, I was wondering like, what is happening with all this grain, about the problem about grain, the Ukraine war. When the Ukraine war started, everyone was like, there's a shortage of grain. Like the grain can only come from Ukraine. I was like, what the fuck? Africa's so fertilized. We have like very fertile lands that we can actually grow our own grains and stuff like that. But it turns out, I don't know how true this is, but it turns out that we, like Africans, cannot really grow their own crops like that. Africa cannot really grow their own things like that because of the laws that are set in place. You cannot grow this, you cannot do this, you cannot do this, but you can only buy it from so and so place. I don't know how true that is, but if that is the case, that's fucked up. And we shouldn't stop looking at it. I blame America is crazy. I blame America for all of these things. So if you look carefully, they have a hand in all of this. Just saying. So yeah, Africa can definitely be self-sufficient with everyone never experiencing poverty. No, never thinking about leaving Africa, never thinking about leaving their continent, their country, not to talk of the continent. That's crazy, right? So what does self-sufficient even mean? For all of you that don't know what I mean by self-sufficient. Self-sufficient means able to maintain oneself or itself without outside aid. Capable of providing for one's own needs. Able to maintain oneself or itself without aid. Nowadays these people give us aid, like the West or Americas or the British or the European Union people. They'll give like this change. They'll give us like this money, saying it's aid. They're aiding us, which is crazy because if you really think about it, we don't need aid, and the aid that they say they're giving us is not really aid. It's just another way to say, okay, we're giving you this so you protect our interests. We're giving you this money so you give us something. All right. So it's not really aid. You're buying something. But the funniest thing is when you give the money, you take more than Africans, we end up doing more than the aid that you give us. Like the value, it doesn't match. It doesn't really match. So it's crazy. It's almost like a mind game. I don't know if you heard what I said. So self-sufficient means able to maintain oneself or itself without outside aid. So we don't need the outside aid. We can take care of ourselves perfectly with no problems. If only these people will leave us alone, we can take care of ourselves. We don't even need to leave our countries. We don't need to be traveling, to be risking ourselves, trying to leave, risking ourselves, getting into going on small boats, like going on small boats, trying to cross the ocean, trying to get greener pastures on the other side. And even you get into those boats, you don't even know if they're going to let you in that side. You're risking it all just to get that side, just to leave the continent, because this continent is so poor. It's so poor. I say that with quotes. It's so poor that everyone wants to leave, which is crazy if you really think about it. So like I said earlier, the problem gets to the unfortunate state when the people who have or own these blessings in abundance are the ones that suffer the most. What do I mean by that? I mean, the countries with the most natural resources are the poorest in the world. Even though they have the same things that make other countries the richest in the world. For example, like, I don't know if wait. What do I mean by that? I mean, the countries with the most natural resources are the poorest in the world, even though they have the same things that make the rich countries, the other countries, rich. For example, like they have gold, they have uranium, they have iron ore, they have copper, And the list can go on and on. We have all those things in Africa. So I don't know why Africa is the only ones. We have those things in Africa and we have them in abundance. We even have them more than those people have. But I don't understand why we are the ones that are suffering the curse. I don't understand why we are the ones with the curse. This should be all blessings throughout. Like we should be experiencing wealth out here. Like we should not be fighting to travel or to go. It should not be in our minds to leave our continent and leave our countries because we're trying to look for greener pastures in other places. We should be self-sufficient. We should have everything that we want. For example, look at these Arabic countries like in East. Is it East? Look at it. For example, just look at the Arabic countries with oil. Some of these people don't even work, but they have money. They have like normal citizens have money that they get, like normal amount of money that they get every month. Like the government pays you, and the government is not even paying you because because of the work that you're doing. The government just pays you because there's too much money in the country. So the government is just going to pay you money because you are privileged enough to be born in a country that because you are privileged enough to live in a country that has so much, if you know what I mean. So just because you're there, the government pays you money every month, and that's crazy. That's nice. That's something good, bro. It's crazy because some countries boast about their steel factories when they get all their iron ore from African continent, but then African countries are poor. We are poor. Rubbish. Mad. Anyways, so I was curious on which continent has the highest number of poorest countries in the world, right? I was curious and like, upon all the continents that we have, right? Which continent has the poorest countries in the world? Like, I swear to you, I didn't even know. But I didn't really know. I knew like a couple of the countries were going to come from Africa, but I didn't know what I saw. What I saw was not what I expected. So I went to my best friend, Google. Yeah. And you know what they say. You know what they say. In times of doubt, just Google it. All right. I mean, no one says that. I say that. No. So on Google, I typed in the poorest country in the world. Guess what I got? That's all I typed in. The poorest country in the world. Literally, the poorest country in the world. That's what I've typed in. And 10 countries came up. I was shocked. Not really shocked, but I was a little bit shocked still. Right? The poorest country in the world in 2023 by GDP per capita as estimated by an International Monetary Fund. And these countries are, drum roll, all right. South Sudan in Africa, Burundi in Africa, Central African Republic in Africa. It's got Africa in its name. Somalia in Africa, Democratic Republic of the Congo in Africa, Mozambique in Africa, Niger in Africa, Malawi in Africa, Chad, and Liberia. That's the top 10. That's the 10 countries that came up. Those are the top 10. Those are the 10 countries that came up. All African countries. Mad. And in these countries, Central African Republic, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Niger, and Chad were French territories, were French colonial territories, Is that not crazy? Is that not a little fishy and crazy? If you're asking, like, if you're looking at it like that, is that not a little bit fishy? Look at it. We have 10 poorest countries in the world, or in Africa. and 4 of them are French. Central African Republic, Democratic Republic of Congo, Niger, and Chad. In the 10 poorest countries in the world, 4 are former French colonies. Why am I even saying former? Like it's like the French ever left. Those people never left Africa. They are still in Africa. And this is a sign to tell you that they are still in Africa. They are leeches. They are not trying to, they are leeches. Without Africa, they are nothing. They are fucked. They are not even trying to leave Africa for nothing, for nobody. Right? They're trying to use Africa as their own, like just getting things here and enjoying in France, taking here, enjoying in France, taking in Africa, enjoying in France. Which is crazy. So, yes, they have their own natural resources. I'm not saying they don't have their own natural. They have their own natural resources, all right? But the country has fucked over so many African countries that now Mother Nature is like, no, bro, you guys are wrong right here. So you guys are we're gonna punish you now. Like Mother Nature was like, fuck you. And get this, their natural resources are either bad quality or non-existent, or it's just crazy. These people don't have natural resources like that anymore. And they are now busy trying to fuck up Africa. Like it's not even funny anymore. There's no South Sudan. South Sudan is not a poor country. Okay, now let's look at the so-called poor countries. Let's look at, are they really poor, or is just because of the greed of some of the people that are there, like the policies or the president's greed or whatever, right? Let's look at South Sudan, for example. All right, so South Sudan is the number 1 country. Like this is the poorest. According to the list, South Sudan is the poorest country, right? Let's look at this. We're just gonna go based on the natural resources. And we hear they say 9 facts about South Sudan, and number 4 is an abundance of natural resources. It reads, although South Sudan falls high on the poverty scale, the country has many natural resources. The Nile River, petroleum, marble or dolomite, I don't know what that is, aluminium, iron ore and gold stand as the nation's major natural resources. Of these resources, oil fuels the country's economy with outside investors dominating the sector. And this is a problem. They have all these things, and still they are poor. The issue is that about 85% of the population works in non-wage pastoral jobs and does not benefit from the abundance of natural resources. They don't benefit from it, because if they benefited from it, the country is not going to be poor at all. That's crazy. They have all of these things, like all these things. The Nile River, the Nile River is beneficial because the people can fish there. Like it brings jobs as well, and they have petroleum. They have oil. They have petroleum. These countries not supposed to be poor at all. I mean, make that make sense. It's not supposed to be poor. They have aluminium. They have iron ore, like what is used to make steel and stuff like that. They have gold. Is that a poor country to you? Does that sound like a country that's supposed to be poor? No, it's not. Let's go. Let's move on to the next one. We go to Burundi. All right. South Sudan now, Burundi. We're not going to talk about all of the countries. We're just going to talk about a couple of them. All right. Just to show you that these countries, what they say, when they say it's poor, it's not really poor. It's just politics and stuff. The next one, let's look at Burundi. Burundi, a poor country, is rich in minerals. I think that's like a dig at whoever is saying this shit about poor countries. Burundi, a poor country, is rich in minerals. Its soil contains deposits of gold, nickel, copper, cobalt, tantalum ore, tin ore, tungsten ore, and rare earth. Metallic elements used to make high-tech devices such as smartphones and computer hard disks. So, you see, all of these things are used to make all of them things. And still, people say this country is poor, and this is number 2, the second poorest country in the world. And look at what they have. They even have some of the things that I've never heard before. This tantalium ore, I don't know, I've never heard of it before. This tungsten ore, I've never heard of it before. But it happens, these are things that are here, and they cost a lot. Copper cost a lot. Gold cost a lot. And this country is poor. How is this country poor? Like, make that make sense. That's Burundi. Let's go to Central African Republic. Central African Republic is right there. It is rich in diamonds, gold, oil, and uranium, but has one of the world's poorest population, which is how? These are things that make other countries very, 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 very rich. South Africa is known for its diamonds. And South Africa is rich, you know? So Central African Republic is like the third on the list of the poorest country. It's got diamond, it's got gold, it's got oil, it's got uranium. Other countries that have oil are very, very wealthy. Look at the other people. All of these countries, all of the countries. This is a French country. This is a French country. They speak French, so it most obviously the French has their fingers their fingers in the thingy. Had their grip on the country. So how is this a country that's broke, man? Like, seriously, how is this a country that's poor? If you're going to be talking about the poorest country in the world, how is this a country that is poor? How do you consider this? How do you look at this as a country that's poor? Make that make sense. Then let's look at Somalia. Somalia is reported to hold large untapped reserve of numerous natural resources such as iron ore, uranium, copper, tin, bauxite, gypsum, salt, and natural gas. Its proximity to countries such as Yemen and Saudi Arabia makes it a potential reserve of oil. But still, these people are very, very poor. These people are poor. Meanwhile, the Saudi Arabia is a very rich country. Saudi Arabia is a very rich country. Why are these people poor? Like, make this make sense, right? Like, how does this make sense at all? So now we know. So people, when you guys are talking about all this poverty, don't just say a country is poor. Just say a country is poor because, and then you state your bloody facts. Your country is poor because and stuff like that, and then you state your facts, right? And then let's move on to the let's move on to the next. Democratic Republic of the Congo. The Democratic Republic of the Congo. This is just a sad case. Minerals found in Katanga include copper, cobalt, zinc. What is this? Cassiterite, the chief source of metallic tin. Manganese, coal, silver, cadmium, germanium, a brittle element used as a semiconductor, gold, palladium, a metal element used as a catalyst and in alloy, uranium, platinum. Look at all these things. They have everything. And you tell me this country is number 5 on the list of the poorest countries in the world. Like, how is that the sense that you're making? They have literally everything. Cobalt, they have copper, zinc, cassiterite. I don't even know what that is. I don't even know how it's pronounced. We have manganese, we have coal, we have silver, we have cadmium, we have germanium, stuff, all that. We have gold, we have palladium, whatever that is. We have uranium and platinum. I mean, come on. Come on, what the hell is going on? And I don't even think that's all. The region west of Lake Kivu contains cassiterite, columbotantalite. Oh my God, like weird things, but he has it all. Wolframite, a source of tungsten, beryl, gold, monazite, a phosphate of the cerium metal, and thorium. Brother, it's crazy. I will even mention diamond. We didn't mention diamond, and it says here Lake Kivu also harbors vast reserves of methane, carbonic methane, carbonic, and nitrogen natural gases. There are deposits of iron ore and gem quality diamonds in South Central Congo. Yo, this thing then in the northeast there are gold, coal, and iron ore deposits. There are prospective deposits of gold, monazite and monazite and diamond, and in the northeast, in the northwestern region as well, Costa Congo contains bauxite, gold, and offshore deposits of petroleum. Offshore deposits of petroleum. The limestone deposits that occur throughout the country are considered to be amongst the richest in Africa. Brother, like what are we saying? How is this country even broke? How is this country even poor? You people keep taking without conscience. How can you be taken from a country without conscience? Even the country that has so many things like this and is the poorest, like is one of the poorest country. How do you conscience, man? Come on. Let's kick all of you motherfuckers out of these African countries, man. You guys are just killing everyone. Like, bro. I don't know, man. The thing is, we keep giving. We have been giving. We keep giving. There's this TikTok that I saw of this lady saying, we have been giving for years now. And you guys are still taking. You guys are still taking. We have been giving for a very, very long time, and you guys are still taking. And the funniest thing is when you take, you do not give back. When you give back, you give like, you can take like 100% and you give back like 1% and you tell us that that's, hey, you're trying to help us in something. That's fucked up. Don't come and be acting like you're helping anybody with your shit. You are helping because you need these things, and that's why you are pretending to help. So the last one, because by now it's useless to go through the whole list because you already get what I'm trying to say here. These countries are not poor. It's just policies and greed. These countries are not broke countries at all. These countries, it's just policies and greed. So the last country that we're going to look at is Niger. So let's look at Niger, right? The natural resources of Niger include uranium, coal, gold, iron ore, tin, phosphate, petroleum, molybdenum, salt, gypsum. It also has good amount of oil reserves. Experts say that Niger exports are likely to expand significantly by the year 26. That was like a long time ago. But come on, like how are countries like this considered as broke? How are countries like these poor countries? Mm-hmm. How do you say countries like this are poor? How is that making sense? I mean, all this nonsense talk about like about this thing about the above countries are poor are all lies. I feel like they are all lies. They want you to believe that these countries are really poor and have nothing. So you just and they have nothing to offer anybody, so they can then come in and then take all of the things that they actually have to offer. You get me? So it's like a ploy. It's like a how can I say? They're trying to shift your focus on somewhere. Say no, but these people are even poor. Are actually poor. They don't have money like that. They don't have anything like that. So when everyone thinks they are poor, they just come in and then start stealing the wealth, stealing everything. Because basically stealing. If you're taking from people, you're taking like resources from people that can actually uplift them and get them out of poverty. If you're taking it from them and they're not getting anything, they are still poor. What do you call that? That's stealing, because you're acting like they don't know that you don't know how to use it. Because if you give them the control, they are definitely going to uplift their countries using them things. So leave it to them and they will use it. If you're using it and they're not using it and you're benefiting from it, you are stealing. That's theft. Onto these capital criminal Emmanuel Macron. This capital criminal Emmanuel Macron has the guts, the effrontery to warn Africa, to warn against its interest in Niger. Fuck you. Mr. Macron. If you're watching this, fuck you. Africa, everyone says fuck you. If you're watching this right now, go in the comment section and say, fuck you, Macron. Let's spam the comment section with fuck you, Macron. You acting like you own the place. You don't own us. You don't own Africa. You don't own nothing. Focus on your damaged natural resources on your side. All you have is fucking wine, bruh. All you have is wine. Focus on your agriculture. Go and farm your side and do your things and get your money like that. Don't. Then when you get money from that side, you come here and you buy it from us. You buy the uranium from us. We are going to happily sell it to you. Don't come here and be acting like you own anything. You don't own us. Don't be shouting like warning people that about your interest in Africa. Fuck you. Fuck your interests. Fuck you and your interests. I mean, it's really crazy how Africa is blessed with all these natural resources and fertile land, but we are the poorest in the world, or we have the poorest countries in the world. How is that? How does that make sense? How is that possible? How does that make any sense, man? I mean, other countries are using their natural resources to better their lives and do those things. The Saudi Arabias, the Dubai, they have the natural resources. They are like rich as fuck. They pay their citizens money just for being citizens. America is out there. America is like a place to be. People are traveling to America because America is all this rich and stuff like that. Britain, the European Union, the euro is backed by gold. And these motherfuckers don't even have enough gold to back the money. We are backing, like Africa backs the European Union pounds. We are backing the pounds from gold. The pound is backed by gold from Africa. I mean, how is that? How does that make any sense? Anyways, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here with me. I hope you learned something, because while I was researching and writing all these things, I actually learned a lot. All right. Thank you, and see you in the next one.